I got those two jobs.
Hello YouTube, my name is Sam, and in this video I'm gonna give you 5 tips to be a better CTF player in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Capture the Flag was recently added to Black Ops 4 after the 1.18 update. I also have one bonus tip at the end of this video, so make sure you keep watching till the end. I should probably start from the least important tip and continue to the most important one, but because some of these tips are related, I'm just gonna start from the most obvious one. Tip number 1, try to play in a team and do teamwork. Try to party up with some friends so you can communicate with them and help each other. Being able to talk to your teammates is pretty important in this game mode. Well, you might think that communication is always an advantage in any game modes, and you are absolutely right, but communication and talking to your friends is a little bit more important in CTF. Because every time you get killed by an enemy, there is a 5-second delay before you can respawn. So, if you lost a gunfight close to your flag, you can't respawn instantly and defend your flag from that enemy. Now, the callouts and telling your friends to be aware of that attacker might prevent your flag from being taken. Of course, this is also very helpful when your team is trying to capture the enemy's flag. You can tell your teammates where the defender enemies are and give your friends a better chance of winning those gunfights. Don't get me wrong, if you're a solo player, you can still play CTF and win the game, but being in a party with your teammates will help you be a better team player, and a good teamwork will always be better than a good TDM player in objective games. I've seen a lot of teams with a top player with 70 plus kills in CTF, and they have lost a match just because that top player was playing it like TDM, going for kills instead of going for objectives. I mean, come on dude. Sometimes you're not helping your team by playing an objective game mode like it is TDM. Do teamwork and care about those objectives. Tip number 2, play with the right specialist. Every game mode requires a different type of gameplay. So, if you're a very successful TDM player, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be successful in CTF with the same type of gameplay style. I believe I can be more useful to my team by playing differently and with different specialists in different game modes. I usually go with Crash or Battery when I'm playing TDM, but I really like playing as Nomad in Capture the Flag. Why? Because I can use those mesh mines to help my team defend our flag. Here's how I do it. As you can see, I place my 2 mesh mines in a way that the line between them crosses the flag. So, when an enemy tries to take the flag, he will trigger the mesh mines, and there you go. I just prevented the enemy team from taking our flag. I get my mesh mines 2 to 3 times per round, and that is gonna help me and my team a lot. I'm not telling you to play with Nomad all the time. I'm telling you to find your preferred specialist in this game mode so you can use his or her ability and weapon to you and your team's advantage. If you're trying to help defending your flag, going with Nomad or Torque will definitely help you, and if you're rushing to capture the enemy's flag, using Battery and Rune will be helpful. Find your specialist and try to use that specialist to help your team. Tip number 3, choose the right score streaks. Every normal kill in Capture the Flag will give you 50 scores. So it might be a little harder than usual to get those heavy streaks like Strike Team or the Gunship. Try to select those score streaks that are a little bit easier to get considering the reduced score per kill in this game mode. And of course, try to select some score streaks that are going to help your team and your objectives. Using an UAV is a good start. You will help your team to know about enemies' whereabouts, and you will also gain score for every kill that your teammates get during the time that your UAV is up in the sky. A Hellstorm missile can be a very good choice too. It's a good streak for killing those attackers near your flag and also helping your team by killing the defenders around the enemy's flag. And it is almost impossible for enemy's zero specialist to destroy it. A sentry can be used as a good defense too, but be careful because if the enemy has a zero specialist on their team, it can be destroyed or even get hacked. I usually use a care package so I can test my luck and sometimes good things come out of it. Tip number 4. Choose the right perks. Of course, you can use any perks that suits your playstyle, but some perks can be more beneficial than others in this game mode. For example, I suggest using Engineer perk because it helps you to see enemies' traps and score streaks through the walls and covers. So you can choose a more safe path if you are trying to take enemy's flag. And if you are playing as Zero, then you know where to throw your EMP grenade. Also, if like me, you're using a care package as one of your score streaks, you can reroll it and increase your chance of getting something good from your care package. I recommend using Cold-Blooded as well, because if enemy is guarding their flag with some score streaks like a sentry, you will be safe for a couple of seconds, and in most cases, that is enough time to take their flag and run away. You can also have Tac Mask or Flak Jacket in one of your classes, so you can switch to that class if using those perks are necessary according to the match's conditions. Tip number 5. Be ready to change your class or specialist. I've encountered campers numerous times in this game mode. Not that you won't find any campers in other game modes, but this game mode has a lot of potential to have campers in it. Every map has those long line of sights, and there is a good chance that an enemy defender is sitting at the end of one of those long line of sights and waiting for you with an LMG or sniper rifle. Because you like to rush, you might prefer using an SMG or an assault rifle, but before you land enough bullets, you will probably get sniped, and just think about the accuracy you need to have in that very long-range gunfights. In these situations, it is wiser to switch to an LMG or sniper rifle class to pick those campers or defenders or whatever you want to call them. Sometimes the opposite is the case. Your enemy is rushing you and you find yourself in a lot of close range gunfights, so switch to your SMG or fast firing rate AR class. This tip is also true about perks. Have some anti-score streaks or anti-equipment perks in your class so you can use those classes when needed. Long story short, have different classes for different situations. Just one class won't be a good choice for every single match. This is also true for your specialists. Always check the leaderboard. You may find an enemy with a couple of kills and very few deaths. So he or she might be going for some streaks, maybe some heavy streaks at the beginning of the next round. Quickly change to 0 if available, so you can hack or disable those streaks. Or if 0 is taken, switch to a class that has a Titan with both FMJ1 and FMJ2 and a Cold-Blooded perk so you can destroy those streaks in no time with your weapon. All I'm trying to say is to think in advance and be prepared. What about that bonus tip that I mentioned at the beginning of this video? That tip is try to control your anger. Sometimes you are the best player not only in your team but in the lobby, but because you have some brain-dead teammates or some AFK players on your team, you will lose the match. I almost always have these kind of players on my side. I don't know why. Sometimes 2 or 3 AFK players that won't get kicked for 5 minutes. I don't know why the kicking inactive player system in this game is broken, but I have seen a lot of people who have been AFKing for a couple of minutes and still not getting kicked. I believe the standard time a player can remain inactive is 1 minute. Treyarch's previous game, Black Ops 3, used to have this standard time, but in BO4 sometimes an inactive player gets kicked in about 1 minute and sometimes will stay in the game for more than 5 minutes. Trust me, I've seen it a lot. Anyways, try to stay in the game as long as you can and control your anger. It makes everyone angry to see that they are losing a game not to the enemy team, but to their own teammates. But if you try to manage your rage, you will be more comfortable in all your matches, not only CTF. And if you play without anger, you will perform better. I had a capture the flag game this morning and suddenly 2 of my teammates got kicked because of inactivity. We were losing the match because we had fewer players and my other 2 teammates weren't helping much, but I tried not to get angry and stayed focused. Surprisingly, we ended up winning the match, and the hilarious part was that at the end of the match, the 2 top players on the enemy side rage quitted the game. Stay calm and try to control yourself. Trust me, you will perform better. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I wish you all having a great time and I'll see you guys in the next video.